Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Hunkydory Crafts, we've got foiled edge card blanks envelopes Megabuy, and they have a distressed edge on them. They're also metallic, so they have all these great gold, copper, silver. Love it. And you guys, this is a fantastic money saver. We also have a great giveaway for you. This is our card giveaway for this episode, so if you stick around to the end of the video, you can learn how one lucky viewer could win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, let's take a look at these. You're getting 36 cards and envelopes, okay? 6 different foiled colors in each of 6 sizes. You get A5, 7x5, the DL size, A6, 6x6, and 5x5, and then you get the coordinating envelopes. Let's take a look at these colors. Well, let's take a look at the sizes. I'm going to show you the colors first on one of these, and then we'll take a look at the sizes because the colors are all the same. So this is a really great black. It's a shiny black distressed edge, okay? And then this kind of like, I don't know, it's a brown color. It's a metallic brown, okay? There we go. If I can grab that. There we go. Now you can see it, okay? And then you've got, of course, your metallic silver, like a nickel finish, really. And then gold. There we go. And then copper. And then this one is a brown, but it's more of a red brown. Somewhere in between the brown and the copper. Great finish. These are great for fall. All right, and then we've got this size. Okay, we call a Slimline, right? And then this one is, I think this is the 5, yep, that's the 5x5. This is the 5x7. This is the 6x6. And then you've got this jumbo one, which you would hand deliver this one, I think, in the US. 8 1/4 by almost 6 inches. And then all of these envelopes, okay? That is a great collection. All right, so let's move these. Look at all the little paper fuzzies it leaves behind now. There we go. All right, so this, you guys, is our giveaway card for this episode. So stick around. I'm going to tell you about the card, and at the end, I'm going to tell you about the giveaway. So this is the gold finish, okay, in that what we call a Slimline. It's just about just under 4 inches by 8 1/4 inches. And for this one, I just did a lot of layering, a lot of sort of collaging on this. So I used, for my background piece of paper right here, I used a Novel Idea 12x12 pattern cardstock. And I really just had like a little bit of paper left over from this image right here. So I just took a little, it had a border on it. And I was like, I'm going to use that. So that is, I tore the edges on that, and it's about 2 5/8 inch wide, and then about 7 inches long. And then I inked the edges using cocoa bean and my little blender, and then just glued that to the center. And then this piece right here, this little thin piece, this is one of the borders that is between our little card toppers that we have right here. And it's this white like script border. So I glued that and just right down the center. It's about 1 inch from the side. And then another border I just glued across the bottom, about 1 1/4 inches from the bottom. And then this tag is a cutout from the paper pack. I foam taped that right here, put a little sparkly jewel dazzle sticker. Here they are. Okay, one of the larger little circle jewel dazzle stickers. And the holographic, these are wild, right? But when you put them on your paper, they're just a little shimmery bit right here. And then another tag right here, I actually lied. I glued this one down first, then I foam taped this one. Then added that large jewel dazzle sticker. These little flowers right here, kind of going down the card this way, that is from the coordinating cutting die set. And I used the solid cardstock with this as well. And so here's the flowers, and then they come with a single flower so that you can die cut this from green cardstock, and then this one from this kind of salmon-y orange color. You die cut that separately, and then you just glue them right over the top, right there and there. And then I took my little jewel picker okay, right here, and took these tiny little jewel dazzles, the little smallest size, and put those in the center, and bang, my card was done. So I'm just using like scrap pieces here for the base, and then the cutouts from the paper pack. So there's my little collage for you. Stick around to the end, and I'm going to tell you how one viewer could win this card to keep or share with a friend. Okay. I wanted to give you a better look at the solid color papers because I used this green and this sort of orangey salmon color. And then I dropped something I feel is important on the floor. Hold on, everybody. Yes, that was important. Okay, for our next card, here's that large jumbo size card, the one that's almost 6 inches wide. It's like 5 7/8 by 8 1/4. I used that sort of nickel finish silver card. And then I took some paper, once again, using a lot of scraps with this one, which I think is just fantastic because I know you guys keep your papers just like I do. I had this great little piece here from our Patchwork Roses 12 by 12 pattern cardstock. I used a piece from this one right here. It had this great corner piece with all of these fantastic roses on it. And that was when I knew I had to save because I was like, that's a fantastic piece. I inked the edges of this piece with a little bit of that cocoa bean, and then I matted it. I wanted more silver on there. I wanted more texture. So this is hammered silver paper. So it gives a different silver, okay? It's a dull silver. It's also got this texture on it. It's one of our specialty papers. But matting that and then gluing that right here. Here's another, I'm gonna back that up, rewind, whoop. Before I matted it and I was inking the edges of this piece, I took the coordinating cutting die and a white piece of cardstock to make this, and then it just happened I cut it to just the right length. And I will give you the dimensions of this piece because your scraps are going to be different than mine scraps. This is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, okay? And then that just happened to be that 6 1/4 was like a perfect length for this border. So I glued that down. What are we using for glue? Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. And also we'd like the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. Both are acrylic, both dry clear, both are flexible so that it's not like things aren't chipping and breaking and falling off over time. They stay flexible. And Debbie and I like to put them in our little glue bottles, which is so handy, especially for something delicate like lace. So glued that down. Okay, then I matted it with the hammered silver, okay? And then right up here on this paper, right up here, there was a more paper, and I didn't use that piece, but I wanted this little piece right here from that paper, so I cut it out and I inked the edges with that cocoa bean ink and I glued it right there. And then I took some of the coordinating solid cardstock right here, and I love this rosy color, and then some of the green, and then I went ahead and inked that. So on the leaves, I inked that with khaki. And then on the flower, on the rose here, I used orchid. And then using daubers is just a great solution. They just go on your fingers, just putting a little ink on something. And then I like to have a corresponding dauber to go with each one of my ink pads. So if you want to do that, we have lots of different sizes of daubers. We have this little pack. This is a 12 pack. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36 pack. I'll list all of these in the supplies down below the video in our Paper Wishes webisode page. All right, so then we've got some stickers here. Well, actually, I glued this one down, then I foam taped this cutting die, this little rose right here. Then, once that was all done, I took lots of hugs, my friend, and then that is from the We're Together, ooh, there's a fuzzy on that, the We're Together Dazzle Sticker Collection, in this metallic collection of white and then this great brown finish, and then silver and gold. And of course I used the silver on these. And on the corners here and here and here, I used silver pearl jewel dazzle stickers. Okay, and then I was done. So yeah, this could be a great card. You could change up the greeting and be a great like silver anniversary card, get well card, a sympathy card, just a great all-around card for birthday or whatever you want to do with it. Okay, next. Here is the 5x7 size card in this great copper finish. And immediately when I saw this copper finish, I knew which paper pack I was going to use. This is Coastal Nostalgia 6x6 pattern cardstock. I used this image right here with the palm tree, and I tore the edges of it, okay? And I tore it down to cut down to, just under 4 inches. So like 3 3/4 to 5 3/4. And then I inked the edges with cocoa bean, but I wanted a more like a harsher edge of brown on that. So I just used the surface of the ink pad instead of using an applicator and just went right along that torn edge. So it's just a deeper edge of brown on there. Glued that to the center of the card. This little To My Friend right here is one of the cutouts right here from the collection. And then we have the coordinating chipboard right here. And for this one, you've got your little starfish and your little shell. I used some of those daubers, okay? And I used the brown ink and I just softly went along the edges of each, but then I also added tiger orange to the center right here and then to the top right here, just to give it a little variation. And then glued these, and then copper jewel dazzle stickers, which looks like I also forgot to grab. And they are just placed with my little jewel picker. So anything I have forgotten to grab today, you guys, because it is 1,000,000 degrees in our warehouse, are listed down below the video in the description, down below the video in our products used, okay? So finally, here is the 6x6 card. And on this one, this is the one that's got that great brown color, and I used a stencil on this one and some embossing paste. So this stencil that I used is our wreath stencil from Hot Off the Press. And then I also used with it some lunar paste, and the color of this, it's a really cool gold color, okay? It's kind of a bronzy gold, really, and it's called Grrr. Grrr, Grrr, which I love. And so for this one, you guys, very, very easy. I just took my stencil, placed it here, used a little low tack tape to just tack it down. Okay, also good to have a craft mat under that. Okay, here's my craft mat. Tacked that down and then used the palette knife, okay? And then just went ahead and spread that around. I would also recommend using the low tack tape and then, where's the end of this? And then just taping off the areas that you don't want to have stenciled, like this bow, just tape that off. Just, it's in the way. It's nice to have the bow for Christmas, but we don't need that. Okay, and then you can do the same. There's a flower up here, down here. You can just tape those off as well. And then use your palette knife, and you're just sort of like buttering toast when you apply it. It's really easy to put on. And then while it's wet, you're lifting this off, okay? And then you get this great image. I let this dry for several hours. And then this piece right here is from our paper toll called Trailblazer. And it's this great piece right here with this deer trophy. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. You use some foam tape with that. Debbie and I love our giant wheel of foam tape. It's 150 feet or 50 yards of 1/2 inch wide continuous foam tape, okay? And you just put that between each layer. You can cut it down into little small strips and then just layer that up. It has this great dimension, okay, right there, but it just squishes down so nicely and mails easily. Then there's Happy Birthday across the bottom. And for that, you guys, I used our green script greeting dazzle stickers, and they come in 3 sheets, okay? And all of each sheet has different sentiments on it. So it's a great collection to use for year round. All right, you guys, This was such a fantastic collection of these metallic foiled cards, and I love the distressed edge because I think you can go like elegant with it, but you can also collage it. You can do something simple with it, and you have lots of options for sure. So we have a great money saver on this collection of cards. If you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page, it's right there on the right hand side. All the other items are listed down below the video in the description box. Keep saying that, down below the video, below the photos. If you're watching us on webisode page, My Paper Wishes, then the link is down below the video in the description box, so you can check that out. So let me tell you how we do our card giveaway. So we like to promote our Paper Wishes YouTube channel, which is called My Paper Wishes, and we ask that you hop on over there, subscribe to our channel, like this video with a thumbs up, and then leave us a comment. And then after about a week, we'll reply, "Congratulations, YouTube username blank." And then you of course have to know what your YouTube username is, because that's how we identify you from your comment. You can go back and look at your comment, which is labeled with your YouTube username if you need a reminder. It's also a good idea to hit that notification bell at the top right hand corner so you know when we are announcing winners or dropping a new video, because I do a card giveaway every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so you'll want to participate in each one of those. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. Don't forget to check out the money saver on this great collection, and I'll see you in the next one.